Good morning, friends, and welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny, and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today is a chilly morning in October, and I'm thinking about walking around the garden and thinking about what kind of seeds might I be able to direct sow for success either this fall or even holding over for next spring. So come with me and let's explore the idea of fall sowing. It is a chilly morning here in Baltimore. I think our low last night was something like 40 degrees Fahrenheit or something. And it's currently, I think the temperature is about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So I might have overkilled it a little bit with my hat, but you know what? Short hair people, it's cold out here. So I am walking down here into the garden to try to assess the planting bed situation and see what we might be able to do out here. Today is October 9th, and I have so far in the upper bed, I've planted 4 cabbages and 4 broccolis. Did those a few days ago. And then in the mid bed, I've ringed it with strawberries. And in the lower bed, I've got 3 or 4 strawberry plants here on this side. And then the rest of these plants here are in a holding pattern. I'm just holding them here in some soil while I decide what to put where in the new garden spaces. So hello, there I am. So I'm targeting this top tier for vegetable gardening. I might put some ornamentals in just as a way to draw pollinators, but I'm thinking that this bed would be a great place to try sowing some fall crops for vegetables. So I've been reading up and watching other people's videos and things and trying to learn about what fall vegetables I might be able to do. Now, I'm on October 9th right now. I think I'm very late. I think most fall sowing you want to do in early September. Of course, that's going to be dependent on where you live and when your first frost comes. Our first frost average is Halloween, so October 31st. And that means that it could come 2 weeks before, it could come 2 weeks after that. So I would say probably within the next week, I'm in the danger zone for having a first frost. But the 10-day doesn't call for any frost. I don't think we go below 40 degrees Fahrenheit in the next 10 days, according to the forecast. And, you know, I'm kind of banking on the first frost being right at Halloween, and I won't be sad if it goes a little later than that, honestly, because I think I am going to try to plant some seeds in here. I'm thinking I could probably succeed with some lettuce, especially if I do the cut and come again style of like microgreen lettuce, planting it really thickly in here and then just trimming it off. I might be able to get some beets in and get them harvested sometime soon. Radishes, I think I could probably get some radishes going and have those be successful for a fall harvest. As far as ornamentals, I'm looking at the Cool Flowers book by Lisa Mason Ziegler, and that book is recommended to us by so many flower farmers on the internet. Danielle at Northlawn and so many other people use that book as a guide. So I was looking in there, and really the only thing I have seeds for right now that probably could go out right now are larkspur, and I do have several different varieties of larkspur that I'd like to try. I also thought I could put some milkweed seeds out, and I don't expect them to germinate now, but you know, milkweed is one of those plants that spreads naturally via its seeds, and so I think if I put the seeds out now, then they'll get the cold period they need over the winter, and then they'll sprout next spring. So I might try some of that. And I don't know what else I have in my stash that might work, but I figured I could give it a try. So, yeah. Yes, I am out here in my pajama pants. It's just, you know, the warm thing that I found. So, here I have all my seeds in my super duper fancy, highly expensive, not filing system. I took all my seeds that I have laying around, and yesterday I went through them all. I organized them. I threw away the empty seed packets. I don't know why I kept them. And I sorted all of my seeds into this filing system. These are all alphabetical by flower type, starting with African daisy. Probably should have filed that under daisy, not under African, but I also filed English daisy under English, not under daisy. I don't know. Anyway, and then alyssum, and then baptisia, so forth, all the way down to zinnia. And so these are the things that I have to choose from. In here, I have the seeds that I've purchased from the Dollar Tree, from Johnny's, from Lowe's, from Home Depot, from garden centers. I have seeds that I've collected myself and packaged up here. And I have seeds that some people shared with me in here. And, you know, like here's foxglove seeds that I collected myself in 2021, and, you know, etc., etc., etc. So here we are. Let's see which ones maybe I could put out today. Amaranth, no. Baptisia, no. Basil, no. Definitely no. If you're new like me, look on the back of the seed packet to find the information about when to plant them, how to plant them, how far apart to space them, etc. And so just, you know, if you think you might want to try planting something right now, look at the packet and see what it says. So, for example, let me pull up the beets from Johnny's. Johnny's Select Seeds, Red Ace F1 beet seeds. F1 means it's a hybrid. All right, so this on the front, it says that it takes 50 days from the time you plant it to the time that you can harvest. Now, at this time of year, our days are getting shorter and colder, and so the 50 days means that if you plant this in the spring, it'll take 50 days as the season gets warmer and days get longer. But as we head into autumn, the days are getting shorter, and so it'll take probably longer than 50 days to be able to harvest these. On the back of the packet, this says, they grow quickly in light or loamy soils. Cool temperatures produce the best flesh colors. That's good because we have cool temperatures now. Acute spikes of hot weather can cause white rings in the roots. Let's see, direct seed. Begin sowing, early sowings in the spring when the soil is warm to 45 degrees. Sow seeds this far apart, etc. This doesn't talk about fall seeding of beets. It talks about spring seeding of beets. So I'm going to go ahead and sow them now in the fall and hope that they work. Let's see, what else? This is way more than I thought I would be doing when I came out today. So let's see where I'm going to put these. Okay, now again, if you're new to seed starting, direct seeding, just follow the directions on the back. All right, so 2 types of radishes, French breakfast and cherry bell. And I'm just gonna put them right here, like that. Kind of in a curve. Let's go with the cherry bells first. Putting them kind of thick in there, but I'll thin them out after they emerge. Cherry bell. And then 6 inches away, I'll do a row of French breakfast. Okay, so there we go. So I need to go get my markers so that I know what I've got here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, I've got seeds dotted all along here. I'll space them out to be about 1.5 inches apart once they emerge. And they're about 1/2 inch underground, 1/2 inch deep or so. There you have it. So I got radishes in the ground. Now maybe some beets nearby. Maybe beets up around this way. Okay. Red Ace beets. 1/2 inch deep, 12 to 18 inches apart of rows. Thin to 1 plant per 2 inches. So about 10 weeks before heavy freeze is expected. So my frost is expected at the end of October, but heavy freeze maybe later than that. So I'm probably too late for these beets to really thrive, but we're going to find out, won't we? I have gravel that is percolating up out of this soil all over the place, so that'll be a job over the coming seasons to get rid of the gravel. So, all right, so 1/2 inch deep, 12 to 18 inch apart rows, every 2 inch plants. Okay. I probably should use a tool for this instead of my fingers. But oh well. Walnuts are falling on my porch roof, making big noises. All right. So beet seeds, as I understand it, are really interesting because they're these little clumps of, they look like little pieces of vermiculite, actually, is what they remind me of. But they actually have more than one seed per, what you think is one seed has actually got 2 or 3 seeds in it, usually. That's why your beets usually grow more than one plant in the same planting space. Now, I am choosing to do these one at a time and spread them about 1 inch apart down this row. I'll thin them out after they emerge. I'm trying to do a better job on this than I did with the radishes. This is a grand experiment and it might not work at all, but you know what? I think this seed packet was like, I don't know, $3, say. Let's say it was $3. $3 and some time. That's not a bad way to experiment in your garden. Oh, I've never had this plant before. It's called Old Tokyo variety Komatsuna. And it's supposed to be planted 1/4 inch deep, 12 inches apart. It is frost hardy. So let's see, does it say how tall it gets? No, I can't find on this package how tall it gets, but I'm looking at the size here. It looks like it gets pretty big and tall. So I'm going to put them kind of back in here. And I'm probably just going to try like 3 planting holes. I'll probably put 2 or 3 seeds in each planting hole. Just to see how it goes. Now, 1/4 inch deep isn't very deep, so I don't really want to fill these holes back in. I'm just going to do it like that. And how are we going to mark them? Well, hopefully they'll emerge in the next week or so, and I'll see them, and I'll be able to remember. Because I don't have any more plant markers. I have 1 more plant marker, but I don't have 3. So, we'll try that. I'm going to put some of this Merlot lettuce right here. I don't have very much, so I'm going to just use what I have. And this is turning into quite the patchwork. I have some mesclun mix, which you just kind of spread randomly. Let me look at my cultivator. Alright, so with mesclun mix, you can just broadcast spread it, and because you're going to be cutting it as it comes up as a microgreen situation. Go, so I'm just going to shuffle that in like that. We'll see how that goes. And let's get a little artistic here. Let's come off of this lettuce row here and come around like that. Why not? This is a fun garden to play in, so we're going to do that. All right, so this is the butter crunch lettuce. If I wanted to, it will form lettuce heads, but I could also cut it earlier than that. This is pelleted seed. It means it's been coated with clay, basically, so that you can handle your seeds easier, is really why. They might put a little bit of fertilization in there too. Alright, so now we've got a ring of butter crunch around the mesclun. Then we've got beets and radishes and Merlot lettuce and Komatsuna, 3 plants of that. So that's kind of a wild and crazy situation here. Let's go ahead and cover these up before I forget. These pelleted seeds, I can see them, so I can tell when they're not covered up. I only have one more marker, so I'll use it on my Merlot. Alright, so I'm kind of a crazy person with my designs, but I've got a circle here and a curve here and a line of red there and then a line of greenish red beets here, and then we've got radishes here which also are green with a little bit of red, and then back here we've got 3 dots of greens, and then my cabbages and broccoli. So it's no rhyme nor reason, except I wanted to make some designs. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, it's all a grand experiment anyway. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for not caring that I look like this when I come to you. You know what? This is just how I am. Sometimes I look good. Sometimes I look like I rolled out of bed. I did just roll out of bed. So anyway, so on to the ornamentals. Let's see what we can do with those. All right, I've laid out my ornamental seeds here in order of priority for how much I want them to work. So larkspur, I've got 4 kinds of larkspur here. And I really want these to work, so I'm going to take good care with those. I have 3 types of echinacea that I'm going to try. And then I have 3 types of milkweed that I'm going to try. Also, I'm going to throw in some poppy seeds, both the kinds that came in the packet last year and the seeds that came off my plants this year. Some delphinium seeds that I gathered and some pink forget-me-nots. So we'll see if those work, but they may not. These are really low. This would get tall if it works. These would get tall if it works. These are tall. These are medium, and these are, I think, mostly tall. Yeah, so keeping that in mind, where should I put them? I'm targeting this bed for the ornamental flowers. So I have strawberries in the front. I need to give lots of room for the strawberries, so I won't be starting any seeds any closer than, say, the seeds have to be on that side of that kind of a line there, just to give the strawberries tons of room for next spring. So I know forget-me-nots would be low growing. I could try the forget-me-nots over here, couldn't I? Sure I could. I could try them anywhere. I could do anything. No rules. I don't have to follow any rules. I can do whatever I want. But I do know that I need to mark these plants better than I mark the vegetables. The vegetables, I don't care what they are or what name they are, but these plants, I definitely care which are which. So let's go in search of some plant markers. I think we'll find something down here in the garage. Please tell me that your garage looks like mine. Because... All right, here's some plant markers that have been used. That might work if I can clean off the markings. Oh, maybe I'm actually going to reuse them because I see a Butter Crunch marker there. I could put that on my Butter Crunch lettuce, so that's good. All right, what else? Do I have others? Maybe I have to go in the garage. I mean, in the basement. It's been a hot minute since we've been in the seed starting studio. Here's one. I have these bamboo ones I could use. I think that might be all I have at the moment. Well, we're gonna make do with what we found and deal with it, aren't we? Yes, because that's life. Okay, so larkspur, we're gonna see. Who knows? By the way, I've just discovered something that I've been wondering about. These beds are very big, and getting into the middle of them for sowing planting and or harvesting. Bit of a challenge. So over time, don't be surprised if you see me putting little walking paths through these big beds, because you know, you're not supposed to walk on your soil that you end up planting in, so maybe I need to put in some walking paths through here that will eventually be hidden by the plants as they grow, but you know, I don't know. We're going to play that all by ear. You might have foreseen that problem and nobody told me about it in the comment section, or maybe you didn't think about it either. So anyway, here we are. Okay, so more seeds. I'm going to do these echinacea next. Now I have 3 types of echinacea. I think I'm going to just do 3 clumps and see what comes up and thin them out in clumps and then let them grow on as plants in those clumps next year. So I just want to see if I can get them to germinate at all. They may not germinate until the spring, but I'm going to go ahead and give them some dedicated space right now. Starting with Cheyenne Spirit. This one is hardy in zones 3 through 10. Sow in groups of 3 to 4 seeds, 1/8 inch deep, thin to 1 plant. And you want to space them 18 to 24 inches apart eventually, but when they're seedlings, they don't need to be, you can transplant them before that. Okay, so this has 25 seeds in it, not very many. So I am going to plant them all and hope that they work. You might not have been able to see me do any of that, sorry. So I made a little square out of those granite rocks, gravel, to mark my planting bed. We'll do Paradiso next. Again, just 25 seeds in this packet, so I'll make 8 planting sites. All right, on these Kismet raspberry seeds that I collected, I have actually no idea what part of this is seed and what part of it is chaff, or if I even got any seeds. I have no idea. So I'm just going to broadcast spread this and see what happens. Well, I think maybe I'm done planting for the day. As we look up this hill, I'm just so grateful to have the ability to put in those new walls and those new planting beds, and to have the ability to sit down here on my brand new patio with my coffee on a beautiful, crisp, clear morning and enjoy the quiet, relative quiet, there's a lawnmower already going, of the morning. And I'm just grateful for this day, grateful for you. And you know what else? It just occurs to me as I plant seeds in the ground, as the weather is turning colder and fall is coming and the earth is kind of going to sleep, at least here in the northern hemisphere, the earth is going to sleep to rejuvenate for next spring's beautiful growth. Planting seeds right now, planting bulbs right now, putting plants into the ground that you got at a nursery or whatever, it's like an act of hope, isn't it? And an act of faith that nature can and will provide, and that life goes on. And I think that's one of the things I love the most about gardening, is the fact that you're nurturing. I don't pretend to think that I'm in control of anything in the garden. My job is to nurture and to guide and to support and to provide opportunity for plants to thrive, and hopefully do so in a way that's pleasing to my eye and to the eyes of my family and my guests. But honestly, gardening is really just an act of faith for me, an act of hope for me. And I hope that you feel the same about your gardens, friends. And I hope that you're finding peace and joy in your gardens, and hope and calm. And I hope you have a wonderful day in your gardens. Thank you so much for joining me today on this crazy adventure about planting seeds at this time of year. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe it'll work. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again in another video real soon, friends. Take care. Bye-bye.